and not to compromise quality. When you start something and everybody welcomes it and you have the market, make sure you give them the reason to stick with you.
With a liberal market policy, the company may not be able to bank on a ban on feed importation for its industry to flourish. But what will make it triumph is affordability, accessibility, and quality. Abdunjai, GRTS.
Well, you can also follow that story and other GRTS programs live on www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio live. Time now to take our first break. When we come back, we'll take a look at news from outside the Gambia. Stay tuned in. Welcome back. The 8 leading Senegalese opposition figures who recently formed an alliance against President Wade have vowed to remain united and stay the course until Wade steps down. The opposition group made this remark at the start of official campaigning ahead of the February 26 presidential polls. Meanwhile, President Wade has also hit the campaign trail with a mass political rally in the constituency of Mbake. Wade railed at what he called attempts by some to meddle in Senegal's internal politics. We have details of that story in this report.
For their first collective campaign rally, the main opposition candidates gathered on Sunday near Obelisk Square in Dakar, which has become the main symbolic protest site in the city. Speaking to several thousand people, the 8 candidates from the June 23rd movement promised to remain united and to step up the fight to prevent Abdoulaye Wade from becoming a candidate to succeed himself. All the candidates were very clear. They are not calling for a boycott of the February 26th election. We want to get a message across. On this opening day of the campaign, all the candidates associated with the June 23rd movement are together and are speaking together. Today, the Senegalese should be talking about programs, but instead we are debating a constitutional coup d'etat, preparing for an election coup d'etat that we do not accept. The presidential camp has also jumped into the fight. Abdoulaye Wade went on Sunday afternoon to his stronghold of Mbake near Touba in the east of the country. Speaking to supporters, the incumbent president was strongly critical of any outside interference in the presidential election. Senghor ruled the country for 40 years. Why didn't somebody tell him that he stayed too long at the top and that he was old? Nobody said that because Senghor did what the Europeans liked. Me, I'm looking out only for the Senegalese. At age 85, Abdoulaye Wade will be campaigning down to the wire, even though his candidacy has provoked a great deal of protest.
Well, the flow of people avoiding the recent wave of fighting between Malian government troops and the Tuareg rebels in northern Mali is continuing. Authorities in neighboring Niger are struggling to cater for the needs of the refugees who have been sharing their harrowing experiences while en route to Niger. We have more in this report.
Tanagadrar is a town in Niger that's population has tripled over a very short time. This town is on the border with Mali. Hundreds of Malian families fled here to escape from fighting in their own towns. They came on donkeys or on foot. They left in a hurry under pressure, like this teacher whose village was attacked by Tuareg rebels.
They have destroyed our possessions, our houses, and our shops. They ask us threatening questions like, where are the soldiers hiding?
Basic needs of the Malian refugees are not being met. Residents are trying to help, but there are shortages of drinking water, food, medicine, and shelter. The one well for drinking water in the village cannot supply water for everyone. The village chief is trying his best, but he has appealed for help.
We have not received anything so far. The people are suffering. Our biggest problem is water.
Life for the Malian refugees here is not easy. These Malian students fled on foot from the city of Menaka, 80 kilometers away. They don't want to stay in Niger. They want to return home as soon as possible.
We came here and our brothers here in Niger gave us everything, but we want peace to return to our country. We want to go home.
Among the refugees here are people from Niger who live on the Malian border and Malian soldiers who escaped into Niger dressed as civilians and without weapons. Every day the exodus continues, and villages near the border fear they will not be able to handle this sudden influx of refugees much longer.
Well, time now to take another break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Time now to take a look at some sports. The Malian football team has booked a place in the semi-finals of the African Cup of Nations. The West African country knocked out co-host Gabon in a pulsating quarter-final match in Libreville. The Malians joined fellow tournament heavyweights Ivory Coast, Ghana and Zambia in the semi-finals. We have details in this report.
This quarter-final ended in high tension when Gabon forced Mali to penalties and Gabonese star player Aubameyang failed to score.
Aubameyang qui manque son tir.
Aïe, aïe, aïe.
But Seydou Keita did not tremble, offering Mali an unexpected ticket to the semi-finals.
Le Mali est en demi-finale.
Je suis très fier de...
I'm very happy to be wearing this t-shirt today, you see, and it's not the first time. These penalty shots were not easy because scoring on the last penalty is never a given. But anyway, I put the last one in. It was as if it were all happening in a dream.
C'était comme si c'était dans mes rêves.
For Gabon, this was a cruel conclusion to a game they had led for a long time. In the 55th minute, it was Eric Molungi who opened the scoring. 1-0 was the score for Gabon, until Sheikh Diabaté leveled 6 minutes before the final whistle.
The majority of the players who took part in this African competition are young, under 23. So I think that today they understood how big a tournament is being played. Today we are sad because the whole country's crying.
Mali will play Côte d'Ivoire in Wednesday's semi-final in the Gabonese capital. The other semi-final will see Ghana play against Zambia.
Et là, sur un coup du sort, ils ont pris un but en fin de match.
Before we go, reminder of our headlines. Officials of Conopro Pearl, part owners of the Gambia Food and Feed Mill, have presented samples of the first products churned out by the mill to the head of state. Dr. Momodu Tangara and Dr. Mariama Sar Sise retained their old cabinet portfolios, while Abdul Koli has been moved to the Fisheries and Water Resources Ministry. The Gambia's Methodist Church has consecrated its first Gambian and female bishop in the person of the Right Reverend Hannah Caroline Falheim. Local authorities in Niger are struggling to contain the flow of refugees fleeing increasing lawlessness in northern Mali. And President Abdoulaye Wade has lashed out at critics, accusing them of interfering in Senegal's internal affairs. You can also follow that story and other programs live on our website, and that's on www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRT's radio live. That brings us to the end of the news. Thank you very much for your time. I am Fatou Kamara, wishing you all a very good week ahead.
Benga. Sika,